Jake Paul. All day, every day.
Why?
Just think he knocks him out cold.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
So when I'm bouncing around the ring, jabbing, weaving, and doing all of these things, I know I can pick them apart and score points and make this a very, very big.
If you thought boxing had reached peak lunacy, buckle up. Because the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul roller coaster has just blasted straight off the tracks and into a dimension where hype, chaos, ego, and pure spectacle collide like rogue asteroids in leather gloves. And the madness begins with a 200-word burst of drama right here. It all kicked off like a movie scene nobody asked for, but everyone secretly wanted.
So Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look. Bit chubby, bit bulky. I like how Jake Paul calls that the full spectrum from featherweight.
Anthony Joshua standing tall, stoic, sculpted like a Greek demigod carved specifically to terrify heavy bags, while Jake Paul struts in with that signature cocktail of YouTube swagger, self-belief, and delusion so strong it deserves its own belt category. But before anyone could settle in, boom! Tyson Fury storms the press conference like a storm cloud in a tailored suit, grabs the mic, and drops a bombshell so outrageous the entire boxing world spit out their protein shakes.
Would you be willing to take the bet with Tyson Fury that's saying that Jake is going to beat you?
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself.
Yep.
I'm focusing on myself. I'm fully betting on myself. I ain't worried about what anyone's got to say.
I'll bet £1 million on Jake Paul. $1 million on Jake, the blonde renegade from Ohio. The internet collectively screamed. Joshua raised an eyebrow that said, "That's cute." And Jake Paul grinned like a man who's either about to shock the world or get folded like fresh laundry. Welcome to the greatest circus boxing never meant to create, but absolutely deserves. And from there, the madness only escalates because
Anthony Joshua definitely doesn't struggle, and that's against guys who are of a similar stature to him. When he won his first world title against Charles Martin, he was a taller heavyweight, not taller than AJ necessarily, but a heavyweight of taller stature, and he got that one with a very simple knockout. It was one of the easiest fights of Anthony Joshua's career. He had a war against Vladimir Klitschko, but again, he was highly competitive and eventually managed to get Klitschko out of there. In the Kubrat Pulev fight, while it was a mixed performance, he did end up producing one of his best knockouts.
if there's one thing modern boxing guarantees, it's that the promotional chaos always lasts longer than the first-round knockout everyone is predicting. Anthony Joshua, ever the professional, responds to Tyson Fury's absurd million-pound gamble with the emotional equivalent of a shrug emoji. He doesn't care about Fury's bet, doesn't care about the noise, doesn't care about the circus of personalities orbiting the fight like dramatic satellites. He sits there calm, almost annoyingly composed.
You, Anthony Joshua, how we doing?
Dude, never been better. This is what I dreamed of. This is what I manifested into reality. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here. First round KO.
And the Schmo interviewed you there. When you fought Gibb, it was on Fight TV. We've been with you along the way. Not very many times you're looking up at a face-off. So what did you make of looking up for one of the very first times at a face-off right here?
Just looking up at Daddy there and just seeing, you know, how big he is, and just my eyes were kind of going into his nipples and stuff, which I kind of liked. And then basically I was just like, whoa, he's big in that. And then
insisting that the only thing that matters is what happens when the bell rings and the punches begin to fly. It's classic AJ, polite, grounded, disciplined, the guy who sips herbal tea while everyone else is shotgunning chaos. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is buzzing with the kind of self-confidence only a man with endless money, unlimited marketing, and a refusal to listen to critics can possess. He says Joshua struggles with smaller fighters, which is bold.
Silence all the doubters here. You know, a lot of people saying this can't be real. You know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua, just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real.
It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out, But we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Considering Joshua has spent most of his career pulverizing human refrigerators the size of compact cars, Paul insists he's going to shock the world, shake up the heavyweight division, and inspire the next generation, which is beautiful motivational poster energy, even if half the boxing world laughs every time he says it. But this story isn't just the fighters, it's the cast of wild characters jumping in to give their takes like this is the Super Bowl of hot takes. Matchroom CEO Frank Smith flat out says the fight is more of a spectacle than a proper boxing contest, which is polite promoter language for, we absolutely made this fight for entertainment, and the money's going to be stupid. He even hints, because promoters always hint, that the real dream is Joshua versus Fury someday. But for now, they'll gladly cash the circus check Jake Paul is writing. Then Joe Rogan enters with commentary that sounds like it comes from a man who's seen enough knockout clips to have flashbacks in the produce aisle.
Boy. Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division. Maybe we should watch the Francis Ngannou fight so you could see. Let's watch that real quick, just so you can see what Anthony Joshua is capable if he's fighting someone that's not in his league. Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. Maybe one of the greatest of all time in any weight class. Usyk. And Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice. But
he calls the fight wildly dangerous for Paul, a man who is voluntarily stepping into a ring with someone who once sent Francis Ngannou's head into the astral plane. Rogan reminds everyone that Joshua isn't just big, he's Olympic-level big, powerfully big, scientifically big. When Joshua hits pads, the air itself seems to scream. Rogan basically says Jake is playing dodgeball with a thunderstorm. Not that Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen are any calmer. They practically diagnosed Jake Paul with a psychological phenomenon somewhere between fearless optimism and full-blown delusion.
Getting hit that you just know. You're talking about Olympic gold medalist. I don't think people understand how good Anthony Joshua is. They see him against Usyk, or they see him against Ruiz, and they're like, oh, he lost. And they think somehow that because he's nice, that he's not an absolute killer.
I don't think everyone knows that, B.
A lot of people are like,
You're hanging out with the wrong people then. I mean,
6'6", 245. Let me just say this. It's a different ecosystem. Look, Jake's a thick kid. 227 is a lot. It's heavy. He's big. He's athletic. But this is different. You're not Usyk. You ain't Usyk.
Jesus.
You're talking about a very different athlete.
Do you want me to go now?
Please.
With all your rambling here?
Please.
Dude, first of all, before I go in on the cojones on Jake Paul, you have got to...
That's what I said.
Whatever the fuck your criticism of the guy is, whatever... The cojones, the huevos on this fucking kid...
I agree.
...to step in there with fucking Anthony Joshua is insane. He deserves all the money.
With 14 ounce
and what he's doing is flipping boxing on its fucking head. And this is exactly what he's there for. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Kudos to him. Kudos to him.
100%.
Now, what bothers me is when you and other people go, I mean, Jake's 6'1", 227. I mean, it's insane. The other guy's 6'6". Jake could be 6'10".
I know.
300 pounds of shredded. What you guys are missing the mark on is Anthony Joshua is a gold medal winner in the Olympics.
High-level professional. High-level.
No, hold on. World champion. So I don't like it when we're talking like, dude, he's
it's not a physical thing,
bigger.
it's a skill thing.
So I'll say this, and I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a fake fight, it's rigged, especially because you got Eddie Hearn involved, and they're using 10-ounce gloves,
10-ounce
which is a
gloves.
big deal, and it's 8 3-minute rounds. 10-ounce gloves.
It's terrifying.
That's what you do in professional boxing, heavyweight boxing, which those do nothing, by the way.
They do nothing.
What you guys need to understand is, if this fight's not fixed, no one's taking a fall, cut all that narrative out. But I will tell you this. If Anthony Joshua decides to take this as...
They say Jake is taking this too lightly, misreading the danger, and maybe forgetting AJ can punch a hole in the fabric of time. Buddy, you have old school boxing analysts trying to break down footwork angles while teenagers on TikTok scream, Jake Paul in 2, into ring lights. You have gamblers placing bets based on actual statistics while crypto influencers say, I'm putting everything I own on Jake because vibes, drama, comedy, danger, hype, and outrageousness, all wrapped into one explosive showdown.
By knockout, you would think I'm absolutely crazy, right? But the thing is, it can happen. 10-ounce gloves, heavyweight, Jake Paul can punch hard. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not, mate. Anthony Joshua is an absolute beast, an unbelievable, highly skilled, highly trained, highly experienced professional boxer with power in both hands, and he's really good at finishing people off. And even though I really take my hat off for Jake Paul for taking this fight, I didn't really want to take it because of what's going to happen in the result of this fight, and I want to keep on this Jake Paul train. I think he's doing great, and I love his ambition. I love that he's trying to become a world champion and following his dreams and believing in himself. But at a certain point, you bite off more than you can chew. And
no matter how it ends, whether Joshua does what everyone expects or Jake Paul lands the miracle punch heard around the world, this fight will be talked about, memed, argued over, and replayed for years. Because at the end of the day, boxing is not just about punches, it's about stories. And this story, with all its insanity, larger-than-life characters, bold claims, million-pound bets, conspiracy theories, expert warnings, and underdog dreams, is the kind of story that reminds us why this sport refuses to die. It keeps reinventing itself, keeps surprising us, keeps merging the ridiculous with the legendary.
Being told from those people that this is a fully professional boxing contest, I'd like to see the small print, to be totally honest with you. But that's what we're being told. We're being told that it's going to be 8 3-minute rounds. We're being told that they're going to use 10-ounce gloves, which are far too fucking small for Anthony Joshua to hit you in the face with when you're there. Listen, Jake's a good novice. Jake's a good novice.
Oh, yeah.
And if he wanted to have a legitimate career in boxing, then he would climb the domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50. He might make top 50 if you pick him right, great. But if you put him in with meritocracy and put him in rankings and actually make him fight the number 49 guy in America or try and climb up, he's going to get found out because he's a nutter novice. Now I speak from experience here. I did an exhibition bout with Shane Aries, a former world champion, and I was fucking 2 or 3 stone bigger than him. I was 5 inches bigger than him, very similar to AJ and Jake Paul. And I was a novice. I'd boxed, sparred and moved around my whole life, but I'd never been in a competitive fight. And we did it for charity. And we did 3 rounds. And at the end of it, I realised, and I knew it going in, that Shane Aries controlled pretty much every second of those 3 minutes. Pretty much every second he controlled. He put the pressure on me in 1 round, he hit me with the body shot in the 2nd round, and he caught everything I threw at him in the 3rd round when he said, go on, try and knock me out. Caught everything. And, you know, in a similar vein, Anthony Joshua controlled.
Joshua versus Paul is the latest chapter, the wildest plot twist, the clash nobody asked for but everyone will watch. And in this circus of fists, bravado, and chaos, one truth remains. Whether it ends in shock, spectacle, or a thunderous knockout, the world will be watching with popcorn in one hand and disbelief